Hello, and welcome. My name is Tristan, and we're going to do another solo playthrough of John Company Second Edition. Today, we are going to play the 1813 scenario. This is the, I guess, quote unquote, advanced scenario. It's basically for those who are experienced John Company players, and in a way, is kind of the scenario you want to play if you just want to get into it and just hit the ground running. This scenario doesn't have um, the same setup as 1710 or 1758, where you can kind of work your way to a potential for deregulation and playing with firms and whatnot. 1813 just starts straight off the bat with the company has we've hit deregulation. Private firms can be started immediately, and you kind of just get to jump immediately into the meaty parts of a John Company game without needing to, I guess, kind of get the stars aligned for that to happen like you do in the other scenarios. It's also the shorter of the scenarios. It only plays over four potential rounds versus five. So far, in my experience, it typically doesn't reach the fourth round. It typically ends in like the second or third round. We'll see how it goes against the Crown. I've played the scenario once before against the Crown, and I feel like I possibly won handily. Um, I'm hoping that I can do the same here as well because the last two games that I've posted were tragedies for me. So we'll see. So with the 1813 scenario, this is what the board setup will look like. You'll notice that the company already has um, ownership of their home regions, but say Bengal is a little bit closed up, which is a bit of a problem. We could definitely get this Madras spot open. However, we do have this potential threat of Mysore coming straight at the company just immediately off the bat. This kind of a situation and the fact that we own all of these regions is one of the main uh, reasons why the game doesn't last very long in an 1813 game, because there's just so much that can be lost, and India is just kind of immediately hostile at the start. However, there have been some changes since the last time I played, one of which is that each of the armies starts with two regiments, which is great. There's also a new card law that starts off immediately after military affairs acts. The prime minister may demote one commander to an officer and appoint a new commander from officers in the army, following the rules of hiring and nepotism. This was kind of put in place because a previous role, the commander in chief, has been eliminated from the game, and that used to consolidate all of the commander positions into a single role, and that was eliminated in favor of having the prime minister be able to kind of rearrange things if needed to ensure that the armies are doing what they need to do for the company. We're also going to be starting with Calico Axe, which straight off the bat allows for everybody a free chance to buy a workshop as a part of their family action. So you don't need to dedicate your opportunity token to that. You can just do that after you've done the family action, which is obviously specifically to invest in your own firm or to invest in other firms that players have. The issue that we have with this, though, is that we skipped this penalty after dereg. Never mind. There's no issues. We just get bonus workshops, and then this is the back of the deregulation card once deregulation is passed, and this is where any of the shares that were parts of failed firms will be placed so that you know that all of those firms are worth -1 victory point, and you should have done better. So we're going to be playing standard normal difficulty, which is having 6 and 6 for the promise tokens. And then I am going to actually draft versus doing a random setup for the setup cards, which I typically do, but the normal difficulty you're supposed to draft. I want to do it because I'd like to see if I can't get the firm that starts immediately. I'd like to see if I can just hit the ground running. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to shuffle this bad boy up, and we're going to get the ball rolling. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3. And so this is the card we're looking for. We want this private firm Me taking this, though, means that Crown is going to get trade in China and is going to get President of Madras. This isn't too horrible to give them, though. They do get a little starting cash. We'll see, I guess, trade in China. I don't know. I think it's worth it. I'm going to take that. We're going to take that. It's bad because these are two positions in the company that would be nice to have, but I want that starting firm, so we're going to do that. And because I want that starting firm, this is a really good card to have because then I immediately have workshops I can invest in this firm. So the firm already starts with 1 share and $8 in its treasury, which is pretty good. So even if I don't get some workshops from here, the goal would be getting ships, having some cash to buy workshops. I'd also very much like to have a presidency that I can try to work in tandem with my own firm. Because if I can ensure that my firm is going to trade before the presidency, then I can get a lot more money in my firm, but then still get the cash money bonus from the presidency. So I'm I'm actually in a bit of a standstill here because having a presidency is really good. Having the governor general would be really great. Plus, this has a ship. Having these two workshops is really good. And I also just don't want to give her. I don't want to give her power or give her those, like, that's 2 pounds that she'd get off the bat. Oh, this is hard. Okay, so she has. I'm gaming this way more than I typically do. This is why I ran in my setup sometimes, but this is things to consider. So President of Madras, and then if I don't take Bengal, then I'm going to be taking Bombay, which isn't the best presidency to own as far as if I'm going to try to work my firm in tandem. I might just not, though. I might have to. The south here is really good because you can go 5, 7, and then to 6 here, the trading. So I might just have to bite the bullet, and then just having a presidency at all is good. Plus, there's an issue of Bengal, or yeah, I mean this could just potentially not get opened, and I don't know if I want to start with a presidency that has this issue here. Even though obviously we'll try to get that cleared up. Plus, the governor general is just a good position that can give me some more cash. I think I have to see. I might regret it, but I think I'm gonna go crazy. Plus, I've never played a governor general crown, so let's see how this works out. Of course, and then now we have to make a decision of do we want that presidency or do we want to be chairman? This also, this might actually be the card we want to take. This is really good because there's a ship and 4 pounds. I don't have any money right now in my family treasury, so that's kind of a problem. But this card is great because I'm getting a presidency. I do get a share, which of course I can potentially just throw right back into my company. I get to start with 2 victory points, which is great, though I guess it'll even out because of that. Boo. However, having an unfitted ship is real good because I can just throw that into my firm for free. This does give me a ship. I'd have to buy back from the company. And $4 is so many good. I didn't look at these cards. I don't actually remember what's in here. I think I'm going to do this. I think we want to take the presidency, and we'll figure out what we can do about chairman and whatnot. But I probably am going to try to ride this line between more being in my firm, but standing on the edge of the company just to kind of keep things going for myself. Okay. So I'm going to have a writer and an officer in the Bengal presidency, and I'm going to be the president of Bombay. So the real question here is, do I want another position in the company? Military affairs is decent. And it'll give me a commander and a writer, which is real good. And 2 trophies helps with the power. Being the prime minister off the bat is always good because of having a little bit more control over the proposed laws, and if you can get them to pass, that's also just a way to soak in more power. And getting to start with a blackmail card can be really good too. Manager of shipping isn't horrible. Having another share and a ship and a couple bucks to start is really good. I'm really not sure actually what is the better option. There's too many blackmail cards for me to discern, like, absolutely it's worth it just in case I get that one. You get a ship in both of these options. I think I'm gonna do this, even though, yeah, I don't know. That might be the best call. I think that's what we're gonna do. Ugh, I hate seeing how stacked the crown is with all her positions. It's stupid. Oh, so many things. All right. Well, for starters, we are starting Hastings and Company firm charter. Boom. We'll throw this here because we haven't started a family action or anything, but check it. We got this going. So for our private firm, we're going to start with 1 share. We get 1 share, plus we kind of get an inherent share that it's not worth a share for the purpose of what victory points you'll get per share, but it acts as a share as far as when you're paying out dividends. You, the manager, just inherently always have like a built-in for that payout, which is kind of nice. And then we're going to get $8 in our treasury. So we're going to do our London treasury. We'll throw this in for our firm strategy and bid, and then we have our India treasury. I'm going to make these a little smaller. All right. This way, it's kind of, I don't know, readable for folks. I probably should take one of these. My company exists. Oh, and then my treasury is 8 monies. And then we have Bengal and Bengal. This card is done. We're going to take a couple workshops, and that card is done. I am the manager of shipping. I am the president of Bombay. And then I have somebody already retired. And I know that she's also going to have somebody retired, so I'll just move our VP to match. I have a couple shares in the company. Oh, yeah, because, yeah, these shares are worth more too. Bum, bum, bum. And then I get 2 ships. One is unfitted, and the other is in the East India. So we'll say Atlas has yet to be fit. We'll throw you in East India. And then I get $2. That's done. That's done. This is what's up here. So, fun times. So we know, for starters, that she is going to fill in all these gaps here. And actually, we have a handy dandy Governor General overlay now, everybody. So now we know who this is. Good enough. Where else? All right, cool. So then we got Governor General. Let's do it this way. Oh yeah, and then she's trade in China. Whoop. So first of all, we have so much money. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then as far as shares, 1, 2, 3. All right. And then let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 ships. 2. Which is not ideal. And then I'm pretty sure all of these are fitted. And these are fit to the east, the west, and the south. East, the west. Was it the west again? I screwed up already. East, west, and south. Oh, so yeah, okay. So we're already in Bombay. Okay. Actually, that might have worked out for me being the president of Bombay. I'm fine with it. All right, cool. So we're done with this. We need to give her a workshop. So many enterprises. She is going to have in the army of Bengal. We got to get them, got to get them going. Commander of the army of Bengal, of course. She's going to be the commander of all of them. The $2 prize. Commander of Bombay presidency. Madras presidency and commander of Madras. Don't know if it's great that, like, a part of me thinks maybe taking military affairs would have been better, but I don't know. Well, hopefully she'll be in a climate that feels aggressive enough to get stuff done, but also will be able to protect us. We'll get her 2 trophies that she gets to start, and then of course she is the prime minister, and she's going to get a random blackmail card. So she's already starting the game off great, as usual. All right, and now let's get all these positions filled here real quick, and then we will get this party started. All right, so this is me, and this is me, and the rest of these are her, except for the director of trade. You don't exist. Governor General. So many things. And then we won't need any of these governors. And then just for funsies, we'll give her the big. She's chairman. And I think that's it. I think we're good there. Okay. All right. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. We'll create our London display, and we'll be off to the races. Who we starting with? We got Lady Newcomb, which removes your votes off your enterprises. Pretty good, though. Each time a player... Ooh. This Foundry, just right off the bat in 1813, that could be pretty good, depending. So what's interesting about this... This would potentially be way more effective in a multiplayer game, because there's more people that are going to want to buy workshops to invest in however many firms are out there and whatnot. The Crown never starts a firm, and she doesn't very frequently invest in a firm. She'll only do so if she's bearish or peacock. So there's a good chance, depending on how the game goes, that when it comes time, she's just never going to be interested in investing. We might be able to convince her to if we really wanted, but I don't think I really want to. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what climate we are starting with here. So we are looking at presidencies with more than or equal to 2 crown riders. Obviously, that's 0. So we are going to be starting peacock, which can always be a little rough. So let us start with the family face. She is gonna want to do a thing. So Peacock wants to buy a workshop, wants to buy luxury, and do some officers. So because we already have a free action available or an extra action from Calico Axe there, that's gonna be her like action 0 of the 2 that she gets. So she is going to 2, 3, 4, 5 buy another workshop, and then she's going to buy 1, 2, 3, 4 buy a luxury, which will get her another 2 points. So she's already starting with the person she already had retired plus the 2 luxury, and then she has one last action, which is that she can enlist an officer. And look at that, we're already running out of her pieces. Craziness. Yeah. And then for myself, I have a sad $2, which a part of me thinks I should probably buy a shipyard with. Actually, this is sad. My one writer. I feel like that's probably a good call. Let's invest in a workshop or in a shipyard here, because we already have one I can immediately throw in to my firm. This is another one, and then I can buy back the Britannia, which is with the company. So I think that should work out. So that's the family action, and then we are going to go into firms, which is mostly going to be me. This is the first time that I've really played firms with the crown, though, I feel, with some of these changes. So the crown never creates a private firm. If I want to acquire ships, I have to pay promises to fit one of her ships into my firm. I also have to spend $2 to consent to buy back a crown-owned ship from the company. Luckily, I have my own ship in the company, so I am going to probably buy that guy back. So let's first take a look here. So we're going to throw these 2 ships into my firm, and because I already get an inherent trade, this is going to allow me to hit 3 locations, which is pretty good if I were to say do the south, because that's 1, 2, and 3, or it would be the entirety of Bombay, though this is going to be more lucrative for me. And then if I want, I can spend some money to buy back Britannia, but I also have to have money available to commit to my firm strategy to actually trade. But I do have some workshops, so and I have shares, so I'm probably I know the shares are worth more victory points, but a part of me is thinking I should invest one of my shares instead of investing in my workshops and keep these in my back pocket, because they're worth well, I guess the votes don't go away when you're invested, but it is nice to have some more passive income. And if I've got $5 that I'm making each round, that's pretty great, especially considering that I'm starting with 0 right now. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest in my own firm. I'm going to be taking this share, throwing it here, which is going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monies. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up the firm section of the rule book so that I can ensure that I don't screw anything up, even though I don't think that there's been any changes lately that I need to worry about, which is nice. So where's the information that I'm looking for? Cool. Yeah, so since this is my own ship, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to buy back Britannia, where is Britannia? Yeah, and I had thrown Britannia, or Britannia started in Bengal, so screw it. All right, so we're going to stick here. There's a good chance that this might be about where I stay with my firm, depending on how growth goes, but we'll see. And then I've already got a couple in here, so this is pretty good. So I think we're gonna call this firm phase pretty much set as far as this setup, and then I'll have to commit. We do need to look at the crown, who is actually one of the two climates that'll look to invest. So only once all players have finished investing, the crown may seek to invest in a firm if the crown has the majority of company shares. And they will invest using company shares unless they are weak, and then the workshops. And then the crown will never invest if it gives them the majority of shares in the thing. And actually, I believe, let me double check. I don't remember. I thought maybe the workshops were flipped. Maybe not. I don't know. I have to. Part of this is updated, and there's been a few tweaks that haven't yet made it in here. But anyway, so yeah, the crown is actually going to invest in my company, and I would have to pay her 3 if I didn't want her to. Which is kind of interesting, because now I'm wondering, should I have actually kept my share in the company just in case? Or is it better to keep it here and just have her invest more money? I think I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with this strategy. I don't think it's a bad call. So the crown is gonna invest in my company because she has the majority of shares, and she's going to invest using company share and then workshop. I'm actually, you know what? Give me a quick second. I'm going to double check that she doesn't do the workshops first, because I feel like there might have been a discussion on that. I double checked, and I'm full of lies, and it definitely shares first. Okay, so she's going to invest a company share into my company. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. That's the end of that. So what I have to do is commit to a trading strategy. And what I think I want to do is I'm gonna commit to the south. Obviously, I'm not saying this out loud, because if the crown knew what my plans were, she might go against me. But she also has a little bit of a stake. She wants me to be successful, because I would obviously like to pay out dividends, which means the crown is gonna get a little cash. So maybe we can work in tandem. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna commit. We're gonna commit to the south, and then let's do. We don't know what her climate's going to be when we get to this point and how much money there'll be in the presidencies, but she's probably going to roll a decent number of dice. And she might not have that many ships, so her initiative could potentially be higher. Let's do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the number of dice that I am committing to my trade roll. And I got to do it all, and I only get 1 roll. And basically, the numbers of 1s and 2s that I get will work against the amount of ships that I have to show my initiative. So at the moment, I have a trade initiative of 3, and Madras has a trade initiative of 2, and the lower initiative goes first. So Bombay or Madras presidency would get to trade first, which means that the values of these spots would be halved. And then when my firm comes in, I don't get as much money. So if I have more dice rolling, I have a higher chance of potentially getting my initiative lower, and then getting to fill those spots first. Even though that will hurt the company because they'll get less money, but that's how we do. So yeah, we're gonna skip hiring because there's nothing to hire, and we're gonna go straight to chairman. And with the chairman, We are going to immediately flip. Since the Crown is chairman, we will set the climate by flipping a new card. And the Crown is looking at the total company shares. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 6. 0 to 6 during deregulation, actually. She's going to stay peacock. Fair enough. And let's look at what she's going to do. So the peacock does not want to seek debt, which is that's, I really hate the peacock climate so much. It's probably a good thing that I kept my promises, because I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna need to convince her to pay, or I'm gonna need to convince her to pull out debt. The problem is, it's only one. I can only get her to pull out one more debt, which would give us $10. That's so rough. Okay, I gotta look ahead here. So if we look at the round, Governor General doesn't really need any more cash. This should be fine. Um, and then luckily with the Governor General, we're just inherently going to get $9 from them at the start of their turn, and then there's potential for them to like do some more taxing and stuff, which could be good. Manager of shipping. I guess I would. Well, like Bombay is fine. We don't need any more ships here. I guess we could put more ships here, but if anything, if we just assume that Bengal's dead and we're not going to do anything about it right now, then we could potentially just move one of these ships over. Though we're going to probably have to convince the Governor General to do so, depending on what the Crown is going to want to do there. I don't have control over any of that stuff, which sucks. I obviously would like to move my writer out of Bengal if that's possible too. We do have a decent army though here in Bengal, so there is a chance that, well, I guess we own Bengal too, so like all we have to do is deploy here and just open up these orders. That shouldn't be an issue. The problem is all of my promises are going to get thrown away. I might actually have to use these favors this game more than I've ever used them before. So really the question, like, I don't have a problem rolling a 3 in Bombay. That's fine. Madras, there's a good chance that she just like won't roll at all, and if so, she's only going to get this $5 and she's not going to hit out here at all, which actually is a good thing for me. And then Bombay, we need to deploy in. Can we actually get away with not taking any debt this round? We might be able to. As silly as that is, we might be able to. How is she going to allocate debt? $5 to each presidency where the Crown is commander or has majority of officers. Well, she's the commander in all of them, so we have to look at the tiebreaker, which would be Bengal. So she would be putting $5 in Bengal, which I don't really want her to do. And then I can spend a promise to put $3 elsewhere. So I think we might just have her not take debt. And I might spend a promise to... Maybe I won't spend a promise? I can't have the company just like crash and burn like straight off the bat. I mean, I guess I can, but that would be bad. This is 5. It's just gonna go straight into Bengal unless I funnel a little bit more elsewhere. Actually, well, no, because that's unnecessary. Madras needs to have some people to defend. Because I certainly don't want to have to lose the Governor General or anything crazy like that. I have to remember. I'm mumbling. I'm freaking out. I'm so sorry. We're 35 minutes in, and we've only gotten. we're not even done with the chairman. Let's. I really don't know because I don't feel like I don't want to take the money into Bombay because I don't need it for my role. Like I feel fine rolling 3. I'm wondering if we need money in these presidencies for the commanders to grab assistance. And I don't want like Madras to be successful in the trading game so much because of personal reasons, but I want to protect the company, I believe. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna play this 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna play it a little more fast and loose. We'll see how this plays out. Governor General will perform the governor action as listed as long as they can roll the given number of dice. So Governor General, well, first we need to increase the company balance by £3 for each company-controlled region, and we have 1, 2, and 3, so that's $9 that we get. I already have more than we started with before. Huzzah! And then the Governor General doesn't have a dice pool; they're just going to get money straight from their balance, and so they're going to be able to roll 3 dice. Wow, Bull wants 5. That's interesting. By spending all 3 of these. Well, let's get some dice over here. So let's roll. We have a couple successes there. It's good. Whoops. So then she's going to get $1 per EIC region. So that's 3 for her. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to have to check and see, is she going to tax? Is she going to put out regiments, or is she going to put out company ships? And the crown wants to commission a regiment. So we're going to put out a regiment for each EIC region, which is not, oops, that's trophies, which is not, why are you doing this to me? Which is not too shabby. Bloop. It does add to our revenue, though, our expenses, which is a bummer. And then that's it. That's Governor General. And then the Governor General then has to do 2, or does the Governor General not do trades? Oh, yeah, I guess not. That's fine. That's fine. I don't know if I care to spend money to throw another ship down anywhere. Because it would just be... I mean, I guess I could do an extra ship in China. I don't know if she's going to roll $2 for China. Actually, you know what? I think the crown might roll 2 for China. Screw it. Let's do it. Whoops. Let's throw an extra ship in China. And then we're going to go over to military affairs. So, military affairs wants to perform 2 officer transfers. She wants to do from an army where a player is commander to an army where the crown is commander. Well, she's the commander everywhere, so we're not doing any transfers. Then we need to assign officers. We've got this 1 officer, and this needs to go to a presidency that creates a crown majority of pieces. There's already a majority of pieces here. There's already a majority of pieces here. So I think we're going to skip that. A presidency that creates a crown equality with a player holding a majority of pieces. It's not going to happen. A presidency where crown has majority and does not lose a crown majority. Presidency where crown has a majority of pieces and does not lose a crown majority of pieces. A presidency where the crown is governor. A presidency where the crown is commander. A crown presidency. I think this is going to come down to a crown presidency, which is going to be between Madras and Bengal, and tiebreaker is Bengal. So we're going to move her to Bengal, which I guess is fine. And then military is done, and then we go to Bombay. And I need to see what commander wants to do if I were to give her power. So if the crown's army strength is 2+, they'll attempt to purchase the most expensive, affordable local alliance which is 3 and 5. I don't want her to do that. But also, what is she planning to do? She wants to deploy in a presidency's home region if not company controlled. It is. Then any regions not company controlled and adjacent to company controlled regions associated with this presidency. So that's Punjab, Delhi, Maratha, Hyderabad, and Mysore. At which point we would need to look at the bottom here, and it looks like Hyderabad is where she'd want to go, which is a single strength. I guess that's not horrible. I mean, yeah. I guess that's good. I don't get any of this money and whatnot, though. I don't want to do that. What will she non-company controlled as long as she can roll 2? She's just gonna do this anyway. I guess I'm just gonna let her live her life. So let's just let her go. I'll let the commander go first, and she wants to buy the most expensive affordable local alliance. I have £3, so she's asking, hey, can I get £3 to have the Sikhs help us out? And I'm gonna say, no, you cannot. And she's gonna go, fine. Well, I would like to deploy in Hyderabad. I'm like, all right, you do that. She wants to be able to roll at least 2 dice. If she what's the word I'm looking for? Exhaust these 3 regiments. She gets 3 dice minus 1 for this tower. So that's 2 dice. So let's see if she's successful. She's not successful. That's very sad. Commander, sad. She's crying. And then we move on. There was no officers involved here, so she doesn't need to roll for if the armies died or anything like that. And then I'm just going to trade, and I'm just going to spend all 3 monies, and we're going to trade with 3 dice. That was a very successful trade. It's going to be 4, 3, and 3. That's $10 for the company. Gets us to 19. And one of these, yeah. Whoop. Whoop. And because I put a crown down, a crown rider down, as you can see at the top, even though I had to, I'm going to get a promise from her because she's like, hey, that was really cool of you for putting that rider down. Yeah, no problem. She's going to get $1 for her rider. I'm going to get $3 for 3 successful trades. And the Hastings family is on the map. Why is this over here? Oh, I see it. Yeah, that works. I'm losing my mind, guys. I'm sorry. So then we have the president, who is going to have the commander go first, and we know that she wants to buy the most expensive local alliance, which for them is the Nizam that she can afford. And, well, I mean, she's going to give herself consent. Can I stop it? If Crown has the presidency, but I have to give her 2 promises to have her not spend the money. I mean, if she doesn't, then I'm going to have a better trade. Yeah, screw it. Let's let her do what she wants to do. No, we should have Madras chill, though. We don't want to get attacked by the elephant. Man, I gotta play nice. But the problem is she wants to... Actually, she's going to go for Hyderabad as well, isn't she? So she's going to exhaust all these anyway. So lame. I think I'm going to keep my promises right now because I think I'm just going to let her do what she wants to do. I guess. Like, I don't know if that's the best way to play or not. Probably not. People might be yelling at me right now, but a part of me is also just kind of interested to see how things play out when I let the crown do what she's going to do and see if I can just like come out of the wreckage. So she's going to give all 3 money to allow for the Nizam, and then she simply wants to be able to roll 2 dice. And so she's going to exhaust these guys. That's 2 dice minus 1. That's 1. 1 more regiment. That's 3 minus 1. That's the 2 dice that she needs, which is actually decent because we've got 2 people left over. And then she rolls, and we got it. Boom. Look at that. company. So that's a trophy for her. Definitely didn't need that. That's $4 per tower level plus this 7. So that's whoop, $11, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so she gets that few bucks, and everything that hits here goes away. Cool. And then she can't trade, which is actually pretty baller. However, had I known that was going to play out, I wouldn't have wasted my 6 monies, which I'm going to roll anyway, just to see what it would have played out as. 1, 2. So I would have had a 1 priority. So, I mean, it might have worked out, depending. But yeah, she can't roll, so she won't roll. So I get to make some money. And I've got 3 ships plus 1 that I'm allowed to do. So I can do 4 total orders. And so we're going to do this order, this order, this order, and this order for sure. So this is going to be $10, $16, $21 that I just made through my private firm. Love it. Love it. And then we're going to go here. And we know that, once again, she is going to want to purchase the most expensive boop boop, which is going to be £4, which is, I guess, what she's going to do. And then she wants to, well, so she's never going to, she's never just going to clean up things, which is really annoying. Sorry guys, hitting buttons. Typically, right, in this situation, you would want to deploy in this region to clear up all of these closed orders so that we can immediately trade right now. We've got 2 ships in the east, so why wouldn't we get another $11 here? But that's not how the crown rolls. Actually, you'll see here, her priority is to do this in the home region if not company controlled, because we want to take over. Then any regions not company controlled and adjacent to the company controlled regions. Then if all of those were already company controlled, then she would consider company controlled regions associated with this presidency with closed orders. So her last priority is to open closed orders in home regions. She wants to just expand out. So knowing that, it's either going to be Delhi or Maratha that she's going to go for. So we're looking for, where does that sit? Looks like it's going to be Delhi, which is a strength of 1. So Crown wants to go here. She's going to roll as long as she can roll 2 dice. And, I mean, yeah, well, I guess we'll just let her do her thing. So she's going to exhaust all available local alliances, then Crown officers, then player officers, then regiments. So this is 2 dice minus 1 is 1. Then 3 dice minus 1 is 2. And that's all she's going to exhaust for this. I'll let her do it. I'm not going to do anything with my promises. Look at that. She got it. Madness. So we now have Delhi. And see, this is the problem, is it's really easy for us to snipe these areas. And then all of a sudden we own a bunch of land in India, or a bunch of regions in India. And then the elephant goes just rampaging through and we lose everything. Plus, if the governor general screws up, we drop unrest into every single company controlled region, and then if there's a rebellion, everything happens all at once. And so it can be just like a stacked bomb that explodes at the right time, and it's no good. So the crown's going to get another trophy for that, and then that's $4 per tower level plus 8, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, she made a lot of money. And then we need to roll for her 1 officer to see if that officer lives. That officer lives. On a 6, this officer would have gone away. And actually, the crown's been very successful in her armies, and still has left some decent protection in different areas if needed. So it's worked out. And then unfortunately we can't trade. These aren't open, so my Gull's not going to be trading, which means my sad rider is sad. Though I think I might actually get a little bonus promise off that, which is cool. We're going to go to China. Let's see if the Crown is going to trade. The Crown will roll as many dice as possible to take a valid trade in China action, so long as they can roll 3. Oh, and I can't adjust that. I think I'm supposed to be able to adjust that. But I'm just going to go off of how it sits now and assume not. I can't remember if there was a conversation where that was supposed to be a doable, but that's fine. We'll move on to bonuses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't need it. 5. Need it desperately. And then let's go to revenue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Well, that's not great. We need to take emergency loans. So that goes down. We needed to take emergency loans. We need to take 1 emergency loan. And then our company's expectations weren't met. So this goes down again. That's how the game. That's how we lose the game. Oh man. I don't know why this is suddenly in my brain, but I want to just double check that with. Yeah. I don't know why my brain just decided maybe company debt marker didn't move, but it totally does. So we took 1 emergency loan to pay out that extra £2 that we needed. Our debt marker goes up 1. We had to move our company standing down 1 because we took 1 emergency, and then we were left with $0, and we needed to be left with 8 to meet our or greater than 8 or whatever to meet our standing, and we did not. So we moved down. So the company is already in bad shape, and this is why I typically see the company fail in like the second round of 1813 games. The Crown obviously can't pay out dividends. Fine. Now we need to go and do some firm stuffs real quick. So first of all, for every £6 that we made on our trade, our value goes up. So we made, we get to move up twice. If we'd made a few more bucks, it would have moved up again. That would have been pretty cool. No, I'm sorry, I can't do math. This moves up 3 times because 18 is divisible by 6. So now each of these shares is worth half a victory point. So I got 1 victory point right here. Boom. Winning. So hard. And then we need to pay expenses. So expenses are $1 for each ship, and then $1 for either the trade value, or the firm value, or the amount of shares, whichever number is greater. So basically, we're going to be paying for 3 ships and a value of 4, so that's 4 monies. And I can technically pay these out of wherever. Well, at least as far as I remember, expenses could be paid out of either Treasury, India, or... So let me just double check that as well. Apologies. Yeah, so I think that's what we'll do, is we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of our London Treasury to pay for all of our expenses. And then that gives us a little bit more flexibility as to what we want to do as far as paying out dividends with this $21. And basically, this will go straight into our family treasuries, which I don't really want to give her any more money, but I desperately need money. Plus, it is going to potentially allow me the chance to retire, to have a special retirement, which I wouldn't otherwise. Though I guess she would too. I really need the money. I hate that she's in my firm. Let's see. Let's do... Well, let's see. I'm probably not... I don't think I need to... Well, I don't know. I'm probably not going to be adding like more ships or anything at the moment. So I probably want to have... I don't know, like add another $5 to the London Treasury so I can have like 6 dice to roll again on a trade if I'm even going to need it. So that leaves me with like 16 bucks. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, $13 if I pay. Well, actually, I guess that would be, I'd get $10 by doing that. Let's do... I'm going to pay out, I think, 5 shares is what I'm going to do. Oh, I forgot that I get the... I actually get an extra one here, so I need less than that. Let's do... I done goofed it. Let's do 4 shares, I guess, is what that would be ideal for, right? Yeah, so that's going to be 4, 8, 12. 11, 12. And then she gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 16, which leaves me 5, which is just going to go straight into my London Treasury. I feel better about that. She still has 28 bucks, but I think, yeah, I think that's the best. I think that's the best way to go. And then because I paid out 16, we're going to put the firm cube here, which means that we basically can spend up to this amount of money to have a special retirement. So even if neither of us were to roll and our people were to go away, we would still get to retire one person, basically at this point up to the 14 VP spot. Or I suppose with this here, if I had enough spouses like in a campaign game that gave me a discount, like a £4 discount, I'd be able to retire to this spot. So that's kind of cool. Okay, events in India. Hopefully I haven't screwed anything up so far. 3, and in the south. Well, there's only 1 ship in the south that can even be affected by seas because the company ships are made of adamantium or something. And that ship is totally fine. And then we're going to have 3 events. 1 is turmoil in Bombay. That's kind of a bummer. The other is we're going to have a crisis. So this is going to be a strength of 2 plus 1 on this card. So that's a strength of 3 going against Madras. And guess what? Madras only has 2. Of course, that's how it plays out. Dang. Well. So, unfortunately, all of these orders are going to get closed. And this is going to be reinstated. This commander is out. We lost a region, so we go down a standing. There were no officers or anything here that we have to worry about, but that's not great. I guess the company could fail this round. Let's see. So the elephant's going to move to Punjab and is going to face square. Where's the elephant? All right. Which is good because that's bad because that's the company. So this could decide it. Delhi luckily is managed by Bengal. So we actually should be fine. Well, that's a lie though. This is a strength of 2. Actually, even if we got the +3 crisis, we'd be okay because we've got 5 pieces here. Let's see. Oh, we good. So we're actually going to have a leader event in Madras. Oh, look, that image was updated. So Madras it just got taken over, and then it's going to boost itself 1 extra tower level. And then that's it. So now we kind of just get to sit here knowing that Delhi is the next target, which is problematic. So then we are going to go into If the crown has prime minister, they'll draw cards and then they'll do the climate shift. All right, cool. So we know that she's going to go, she's going to drop to 3 cards unless we have anything to say about it. 1, ship subsidy. I could pay promises to have her pick this instead. This would remove the ability to buy extra. I mean, she doesn't need extras, and I don't necessarily need extras, though. I guess if we look at the writing on the wall here, this company is going to fail. So more workshops is probably better for everyone, but I don't want her to be a winner. I hate everything. I hate her portfolio is too good. It's very too good. Darn, I'm not gonna. There's no way I can win power. This is horrible. I realize I was also. This should have started here. Well, we'll let her continue to draw. Well, there it is. Okay. She would have drawn up to 1 more had it not been a dilemma, but it's a dilemma. Public demands impeachment. The PM's going to pick an office holder. We know she's going to go along the ribbon. She's going to pick shipping. And if passed, I lose shipping. If failed, company standing falls a space. And then the game will be over. Already. Very bad. So, this is something to consider. If I really want to be lame. Unfortunately, we're both even on the VP that we'd get from our workshop. So that's kind of a wash. She's already 2 ahead of me. She will lose 4. She'll lose 6 off of these shares, and I'll lose 2. There's a company failure card. She is going to get the power award, though, for sure. Which, if it literally were to end on turn 1, that's 4 points for her. This isn't really in the spirit of the game, but like, I am curious if this were to fail, which she's going to vote for it. And she has a ton of votes, so I guess it probably doesn't matter. But I am curious, because she would go up to 6, and I'd be at 4. And then she would go to 10, and I'd be at 4. And then she would drop to 4, and I'd be at 2. And then there'd be company standing. Yeah, it's probably too close to let it crash and burn anyway. So yeah, so let's look at what she's going to move this marker to. So she's going to either go to luxury or workshops. And we already know that we're tied on the workshops, and she wants to go with whatever policy is going to be more beneficial to her, and it's going to be luxury. So she's going to go to the luxury, which means that basically the status quo will remain the same, and just she's going to swap these 2 markers if this passes. So that's kind of lame and anticlimactic, but it is what it is. And then we will do a climate shift, which has changed slightly. So the climate shift is going to be, we're going to roll 6 dice. And we're going to do, all right, so we have 2 successes and 2 failures. So what's going to happen is, if the number of successes is greater or equal to standing, we're going to shift her climate to the right, which we can't anyway, but we know that this is a 0 and this is a 1 as far as the standing goes. So our company standing's at 1, we got 2. So it's definitely not greater than or equal to. Then if it were just greater than standing, it would move again to the right. We're already all the way to the right, so it's fine. It's not going to move. So then we need to look at this. If the failure number is less than or equal to standing, we would shift 1 to the left. Our standing is 1, we rolled 4. So it's not less than or equal to. And then if it was less than standing, it would shift once more to the left. So we're actually going to stay peacock, which is fine. And then public demands impeachment. If the crown is prime minister, they will select the first player office from left to right on ribbon. If all crown then randomly. So yeah, they're prime minister. They're going to vote for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on top of the 1 is 9. Plus they have a million monies, which gives them another 4 votes. So this is so many. I don't know if I want to spend a bunch of money to kill it. 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're at 13. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I can get it down to 5 with just my cards here. So really, if I wanted to spend... would this be beneficial? Is the question. If I wanted to spend $6, I could fail this. The game would end. I would snipe Prime Minister, which gives me 2 power. I'm still going to lose the power award, so that's not worth it. And then I could move this to either here or here. Moving power up would remove her power in here, but then it basically gives her more power. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. We got to let this pass, unfortunately. I'm going to lose shipping. It is what it is. So this passed. I lose my shipping office. Super lame. I hate the crown. She unfortunately gets another Bower for her past loss. So I just have to just be fine with the fact that she's going to be getting bonus VP for that. Super lame. All right, so now we need to do Upkeep and Refresh. So we will clear this board of pieces here. And then let's see if this applies. So under the Upkeep and Refresh for solo, if you have 1 or more riders in a crown presidency, but you do not have at least 1 rider returning from filling an order in that presidency, you get a promise from that presidency. This sad rider never got played, so I get another one. So I've got a lot of promises here. I can potentially shift things quite a bit, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. And then I think that's that. And then all these, all of these pieces need to be refreshed. Oh, I'm failing miserably today. You go back, you go there. And then we actually do have some upkeep because we both started with pieces here. So she's going to pay $1. I'm going to pay $1, which is fine. I think that should be all right. And then we're going to go over to London season and we're going to start round 2. Bow. And then she's the chairman. So she'll get to, I mean, I guess we're doing all this stuff at the same time. I don't know why I said that, but she would retire first. And then I get to die for my one dude. So let's see. All those. Wow, the chairman rolled a 1. Wow, actually, she's not retiring anybody, and I'm retiring my dude. This is always crazy. So President of Madras gets a little exhausted, and then she rolled 1s and 2s on everyone else. Technically, this 1 is a 2 on the chairman, but even then, it's not going to be exhausted. So I'm losing both of my positions. One of which is okay because I can possibly do something with it, but otherwise that's really a bummer. So for London season retirements, 1 deregulation is in effect. The Crown will take the single highest VP special retirement they can afford. That's good to know. That's good to know. Well, she didn't retire any of her people, but she's got a stake in my firm, which means she's allowed to spend up to this 14-pound spot, which is 8 victory points, and she absolutely can afford it. So unfortunately, she's going to do that. That hurts a lot. I thought I could maybe like win a game for once, but who was I kidding? So then I got to consider, I have $19 and I can potentially retire 2 people with my special retirement as well. Is that something that I want to do? Probably. Am I really going to spend all of my money to do that though? I think I'm unfortunately in a position that I have to, which I guess is just going to tie me. But I think I have to. I think I'm going to spend $14 to retire here, using my. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter in what order, but essentially I that and then this. Yeah, so that's $18. That's 8, 9, 10 victory points. That's going to tie us up. Wow. Well, now I'm super nervous because now the game isn't necessarily just going to get thrown out. And what's nice about me doing that too is I spent more money than the crown, which means I get first dibs on these. So play after, check to force president or firm to reroll any trade roll with half as many dice, rounding down. Yeah. That's not bad to have. It's worth 1 power, but I'm totally out of this power game. Like, I have to assume the problem is the power jump is like immense. So unless the company fails like this round, which is very possible, she's going to get 5 victory points. So I kind of have to figure out how can I make up 5 victory points. I think I have to take this. I think that I just have to. Like, I lose my ability to vote, but I don't think that's going to matter. So I'm doing it. I'm marrying in Lady Newcomb. I'm going to get 3 victory points. And I'm winning, which is feels good. Feels good at the moment. And then we know she is going to pick the Foundry because the far right card is picked. So she's got the Foundry, which at the moment isn't craziest. That would have been, yeah, that would have been real good if she adds regiments though. Or Governor General will kind of just feed into this too. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess could this screw me in the end too? Maybe not. I don't know. Very interesting. Okay. And then in case we get to another London season, look at that. We just got tons of spouses. I'm fine with it. Let's go into the family phase. Chairman. Yeah, she's still Peacock. So, well, first we got to look. We've only got 2 available positions to open. And then the one presidency that is vacant has a crown writer. So she is not going to do the free writer enlistment action at all. She's good there. So we're going to look at, she wants to buy a workshop. She wants to buy a luxury. She can afford to buy a workshop. This is still the latest rule with an extra action. So she is going to, or 5, buy another workshop, which is immediately going to trigger her foundry, which means she is going to get a pound because any player purchasing a workshop gets her a pound. So she basically got that for $4, which is kind of cool actually. Yeah. So then she's going to buy another luxury. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like it. That's her creeping up again. Oh, this is going to be such a disappointing loss. I'm actually ahead of her for once. And then for her second official action, she's going to throw this last piece here into the military. So that's something. And then I actually have a dollar. And I don't really know how I want to pivot. If I had the forethought to leave money left over, I could have gotten more shipyards. But I don't think that that's beneficial anyway. I can't seek a share even if I wanted. So I'm basically stuck either enlisting a writer or enlisting an officer. And I feel like it might. I think I got to do the writer. I'm going to see if there's a way for me to snipe this or something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this works out. Then we go to firms, and this is where I need to commit to another trade action or strategy, firm strategy, and I think I'm going to stick. Well, this got screwed, huh? My life. Okay, so this is something to consider. Is if we do Bombay, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, which is still pretty good, actually. The problem is my expenses are probably going to be like $10. That's only going to leave me not very much money. That's actually probably going to only leave me like $10. But I don't really have enough money to buy more ships or to like take them off the crown because with the firm phase I need to consent to fit a crown ship. which means I still have to pay. Or I need to be able to pay to buy it back. Man, plus she's... Actually, she can't buy into my firm with shares, but she can with workshops. So she's going to be in here too. Boo! You're ruining my life! I guess ultimately at this point, though, while the special retirement is nice, my firm value will move up again. So, like, these will be worth a point. Except she's also going to get the points, and I don't want that. Man, the crown is really screwing that. This is really clever because I mean, I guess it's just bad luck that we started crown, though. No, I guess the climate would have shifted her there probably anyway. I thought maybe I could play this game and just get to run the firm myself and not have her involved and just kind of reap the rewards, but she's very cleverly entangled herself with me, and that's super annoying, especially with how close things are right now. So 6 by 4. I'm just trying to think if I were to buy a ship, because then the problem too is like I'm only going to get like another $3 with another ship. Plus, what if these orders do open? Because if she's Peacock, and there's a good chance she won't be Peacock, but if she's Peacock, like Madras is gonna want to try to take this over, and that could open these up. So I don't know. Do I commit to the South with the potential that I don't get to trade at all, or do I believe that the Madras governor is going to go all in, assuming that we put money into the Madras presidency here, that they would like get some local alliance assistance, and go all in to open this, taking this down strength of 2. This would be bad news bears. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I have to play it safe, unfortunately, and I need to do Bombay, but then what I could do is I'm going to spend 2 promises. Is it really going to pay? Is it going to make that big of a difference? I don't know. I'm not going to math it out exactly, but I'm going to spend 2 promises to get her consent to buy one of her ships. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3 out of my... Yeah, this might bite me in the butt too. I believe in it. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3 goes into the shipping office, and then I'm going to take... yeah, screw it. Let's take Fortitude. I'm going to plop Fortitude in here. This is going to make things more expensive, though, too. Because if I have a successful trade, we have to look at it. It's probably going to be here. So I'm going to have $11. This might actually end up being like a net. This might just like zero out. This will give me 5 trade. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, if that's open, that could be good. Let's stick to it. Let's just stick to it. And we're gonna commit to the West with the sad 4 remaining dollars that I have. Which I realized I had paid expenses last time out of my treasury and had a lot more money here too. So, let's see how this goes. And then, actually, I guess technically, we know that she's going to seek an investment in my firm. She's going to invest a workshop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually, that works out fine. I'm going to stick to just rolling 4. I don't feel like I have to compete too much, maybe. This is all really sketchy. This is just really sketchy all around. Okay, so she invested. We actually have to get into the different colors now. It's the same lady, though. Okay. Okay. Then we need to go into hiring. Once the company share purchase step is complete and not before, I can give my share to the crown. She's Peacock, so it would cost me, it's not written here, but the recent give and take for shares changed. And Peacock would be 4. And the reason that I'm thinking I want to do that is to get rid of this negative association. Because I know I'm already going to lose this power anyway. She's going to I'm very confident the company is going to end this turn. So I'm trying to prepare myself to be in the best possible spot, and then, probably the company failure card bites me in the butt or something. Though if I draw the company shares one that makes it so that they're fine again, I'm going to burn I'm going to permanently delete that card from the game, because 3 games in a row with that's not cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to. That seems dumb, but I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm giving you my share. I don't want it. It's dirty and it's bad. I'm just going to remove myself altogether. So yeah, so for Peacock to give a share to the crown, it's -4. It's not written here, but there will be a table there eventually. And then we got to hire. Chairman hiring. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Consider writers. Cool. She's got writers in Bombay and Madras. She is going to go to Bombay based on the tiebreaker. And what's nice about that is that I have to consent to her nepotism. So that writer being there was actually a good call. And I'm going to get 2 promises for giving my consent, because she has enough to do so. And then this will become the new shipping. Boop. And then we need to do President of Bombay, which is going to be handled by the Director of Trade, or the Governor General. And we're going to consider writers. I'm the only one. So that writer placement was pretty sweet. And then we're going to move on to chairman. And new climate. Is this going to be... Well, we know it can't be Peacock, so that's good. Seas with more than or equal 2 ships. We got 2 of them. So Mousy. That's an interesting change of events. Very interesting. Okay, well, I know that Mouse is going to definitely take debt. Advanced debt for each open home port. Oh, well, that sucks, though, because these are both closed. So we're only going to advance the debt once, and that's going to give us $5. I just realized, too, that like with our Governor General having the $9, we still didn't reach enough last time to pay off all of our expenses. That's how bad. Like, this not trading at all, and then this not trading at all, and then China not trading at all. I guess, yeah, Bombay was the only one that traded. Yeah, that was really bad, actually. I think I'm just like not invested enough in the company to care. So it didn't hurt as bad. Well, it's 1 promise for another, and then it's 2. Oh no, it's just 1 for each additional. She's going to put money into my presidency. That's the thing. And then each with the Crown Writer, and then Director of Trade. I think I'm just going to let it go, because she's going to throw $4 into my presidency. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she's going to throw in $1 into each presidency with the Crown Writer, which is actually only this one. It's just Madras. And then that's it. And we just move on. Okie dokie. So Governor General will take... She doesn't have any money, so she's not going to do a special envoy. Sorry, not a special envoy. She's not going to do her... She's not going to govern, because she doesn't have any money to do the govern action. However, the company does make $12. It's $3 per company controlled region. So that's pretty good, actually, despite how things are going. And then she's just not going to act, which is totally fine. Shipping. Mouse will buy a company ship if able. She can't. They're $5 and it's 4. And then she's just going to lease 2 extra ships. Go for it. Oh, I never took this ship back, so that works. So these are the 2 extra ships. And then where does she put them? In the presidency zone with the longest open trade route, with priority going to the presidency with the most crown riders. Well, this is the only open trade route, so she's doing it here, which that could be interesting, actually. Huh. This game has taken a very interesting turn. Military affairs. So, she wants to transfer player's presidency's army to a crown presidency's army. So this is basically my presidency's army. She wants to move this to a crown presidency, which currently is just this one. So she's going to move both of these regiments into... Well, no, I guess this is a crown... I'm sorry. Both of these are crown presidencies. So she wants to move 2 pieces, from a player presidency's army to a crown presidency's army. So she's 100% moving them from Bombay because I'm the president of Bombay. But she's going to either move them into Madras or Bengal. We look at the tiebreaker. She's going to move it into Madras because that's the first option there. Okay? That's fine. Go for it. And then she is going to move this into a crown presidency. Which again is Madras, actually, because of the tiebreakers. So, and then we know this just automatically becomes commander. So that's probably for the best, actually, that we at least have a commander there. And then this is Bengal's hopping. Bengal's ready to go. I could have used some promises to maybe screw around with this a bit, but I think I'm fine with it. Bombay. Well, let's see. I don't think Mouse Commander is going to want to do anything. She's not going to purchase local alliances. And she wants to be able to roll 5 dice. That's not happening. So we'll let the commander just kind of move along. And then I think I'm just going to go big or go home. And I'm going to roll 4 dice. I have 5 ships. So I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'd be rolling 2 dice. But also, surprise, I reveal I'm also rolling 4 dice here. So I actually have to go against myself. Oh no. Let's do it. Let's go big or go home. For it. We're gonna roll to trade in home region and then these 2 regions. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orders that I'd like to trade in with Bombay, mostly just to get some extra money for myself, but then also we're going to do here. So let's look at, that's my trade. Oh, Bombay's trading. Okay, so we need to look at successes. So priority. My firm has a priority of 4 with its 4 ships, and Bombay has a priority of 5 with its 5 ships, and the lowest priority goes first. Each success roll basically reduces by 1. So this has a priority of 4, so we're tied. However, I got a success, so I have a priority of 3. So my firm gets to go first, which is great. And I get to do 5. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know why I thought this was going to work out before we got to this point, because I'm an idiot. Don't worry about it. So anyway, so we have 7 and 7 is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Goes in there. And then we'll put these filled tokens down here. And then Bombay President is going to also go. And then what's nice is they've put what the rounded down half is on these. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the company. Puts us at 24. It might actually be okay. Maybe. And then we don't have any riders to put down. But I, as the president here, am going to get the 5 pound bonus for all of that. So that's pretty good, actually. That worked out okay, I think. Then we're going to go to Madras. And Madras, we know, right, Mouse is not going to purchase a local alliance. We can obviously change our mind if we want. And she's going to want to deploy as long as she can roll 5 dice, and she's got 5 regiments here. So what does she want to do? She wants to deploy in a presidency's home region with closed orders. So she actually does want to deploy here. But this is a strength of 2, and she has 5 here. So she needs 2 more pieces in order to do so. And she's not going to take out any local alliances. So she's just not going to act. And then she can't trade. So then we move on again. And we go to Bengal. What is Bengal? We know that she actually is going to want to do here, and she wants to roll 5 dice. So she is going to do, what's her order? Local alliances, then crown officers, then player officers, and then regiments. So she's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She'll roll 5 dice. And she got a success. So these orders are actually open. Check that out. And that would also clear any unrest that's in this area as well. And then we need to see if anybody dies. So I'm just going to roll these dice in the order. It's 2 crown and then me. If any of these are 6s, those officers go. All of the officers are good. And then basically, since this deploy action happened where we already own, there's just an inherent bonus that is basically enough to pay everybody 1. So she's going to get 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to get 1. So that is all right. I'm all right with it. And then let's see, is she going to trade as president? She wants to be able to roll 3 dice. So she is going to trade, 100%. And then if there's additional funds, she'll spend up to an additional 3. So she's going to spend all 4 to trade in these 2 because we only have 2 ships. Wow. Just barely. These rolls that are like all 6s except for a 1 are, they really scare me. I don't like it. So we're going to go 35 here for another 11. I get $1 for my rider being used. Crown gets 2 for that. Company's actually in like decent shape at the moment, which is kind of interesting. Oh, that is not the marker. Yeah, 35. Then we go to the China. She wants to roll 2. We only have 1 ship there. She's not going to roll. So we'll move on to bonuses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She gets 6. I get 5. And then we're going to go to revenue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Well, hot diggity damn. 23 brings us down to 12. We meet our expectations, so the company doesn't go down. What? And then we have to look at, is the mouse going to want to pay out dividends? The crown's going to pay 1 dividend minimum, then more if able, to leave up to X amount in company treasury. She can. There's 4 here, so she can pay out 1 dividend. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's way too much money. She doesn't need any of that. And then as long as she can leave $2 in the company, she's going to keep doing it. Do I still believe the company is going to fail through events in India? Or do I spend promises to stop her? She's going to do... I guess she can only do 1 more. I'll let her do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that actually does bump company standing up because we paid more than expectations in dividends. This company might survive a little bit longer. Mouse made an interesting shift. Okay, so now we need to look at me. So again, I was 1 short on this value going up even more, but I get to move this cube for every 6 pounds added. We know that 18 is at least in there. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. So this each of these shares is now worth a victory point, and the value of this firm is a 7 plus the 4 ships. So that's $11 in expenses we need to pay, right? So we're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I paid my expenses. We're good. Now I have to determine what do I want to do with the rest of this cash here. Well, if we're going to go to another round, I need to have enough. I mean, actually, I don't actually. I've got workshops I can just invest. So I can consider paying this out. This what sucks is that she's still going to get, she has $24. Plus she's going to get a free retirement again, and she's going to go for whatever. That's actually interesting, is I do have to consider what I'm paying out, because I know for a fact that she can afford literally any of these awards, and she will take it as a special retirement. Plus, she could have other retirements, which is just going to skyrocket her. This could be bad. I need the company to fail, really. That's a bummer. So let's do... Let's do 3. Let's just do it. I'm going to pay out 3 dividends. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oof. And then obviously that's 15 in total here, with 2 left over that gets transferred to the London Treasury. Oof. This might be okay. So I paid out 15. So we know it's another 8 victory points she's going to do. All right. Events in India. Let's see if the game ends here. Constant friend. Are you okay? Very okay. And then 2 events. Windfall in Hyderabad. Of course, we don't got no one, so that's sad. And then a leader event in Hyderabad, but that's actually a rebellion. So this is going to be a 4-value rebellion. We don't have any unrest in any other regions. Otherwise, all of the regions would have a rebellion happening at the same time. But there is a rebellion here in Hyderabad with a value of 4. And Hyderabad's owned by Madras. And Madras has 5 soldiers. So the crown actually just needs to... oh no, my cursor is stuck as ruler. And I don't know how to undo that. So she just needs to exhaust these 4, and we're good. So she defends successfully. She gets a trophy. She doesn't need a trophy. But good job, team. And that's it. So guess what? We're going another round, folks. And then looking at this card, she's going to draw up to 2 for Parliament phase. So this first one's industry subsidy. If your opponent's opportunity token is not on the workshop space and you take the purchase workshop action, pay only £3 instead of 5. This does not apply to a workshop purchase with Calicoax. Fair enough. I think I'm fine with that kind of just going by anyway. Ooh, debt restructure. This is what she's going to vote for or vote on. And I can spend I can spend 2 promises to have her draw 1 more. But this will clear the couple of debt we have, which is fine. But then it does allow for extra actions or extra share actions. And I know that the mouse is going to have a seek share action in front of it for the family phase that's not updated in the handbook yet. And she's going to be mousy going into the family phase. No, she might not be. I'm sorry, because we're going to shift the climate. Well, what is she going to be taxing? She's either going to go for shipyards or luxuries. It's not fun for taxes. I think I'm going to let her do it. Maybe I can still Prime Minister. I don't know. Let's let her do it. So what we need to do here is she's proposing debt restructure, right? We're going to lower the company balance all the way to 0. And then instead of free workshop purchases, there's going to be free share purchases available for family actions. However, to pay for all of this, we got to tax something. The option's either going to be shipyards or luxuries plus window taxes. And so what we have to consider now is what of these enterprises is going to be, I guess, less harmful for her. So we need to kind of compare the two, and then because this one's a tax, we need to multiply it by a -1, essentially. So if we look at power, she has 2 power and I have 0 power, which basically multiply it by a negative, and so she's at a -2, right? This option is a -2. And then if we look at, she has 4 shipyards and I have 3, that difference is 1 times -1. Basically, that puts it at a -1, right? So we have -2 and a -1, and she wants to go with -1, which is also probably better. I mean, for her, I think it evens out because of her her window taxes on these luxuries. However, these window taxes, I actually have to pay more. This is a bummer and a half. A little bit. But yeah, so she's gonna pick taxing taxing the shipyards. So then we know this bad boy is starting at a -3. And then we gotta see what is the climate. Wowzers. So those were all fails. So again, we would look at the successes. And if we had successes greater than or equal to company standing, which is at a 2 now, 0, 1, 2, we'd shift to the right. Then if we had just a total greater than, it would shift to the right again. These are all, there's a lot. So this is 6 fails. If it's less than or equal to company standing, it would go down. It's not, it's greater than. And then if it's less than, it would go again. It's not. So we're staying mouse. Very interesting. So really that might affect, well, let's see. Is mouse going for debt restructure? Yeah. Mouse is all for debt restructure. So we look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus her 15 pound plus balance gives her an extra 4 votes. 2, 3, 4. So we're at 11 on this vote. If I'll just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I spend 5 pounds, I can make this law not go into effect. The positive of this law going into effect is that this moves the company debt down 1, which is potentially really good. Well, actually, then, yeah, no, this is way better. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to pay $3 for my shipyards. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to have to pay 8 pounds anyway if this passes. Or I could pay 5, have it not pass, and take the Prime Minister role. And then I would have an option of, I mean, everybody would get a bonus off that, but a couple extra bucks, or excuse me. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pay $5, and we're gonna trash this law. No, I'm the opposition leader. I become the new prime minister, and I can either get myself 2 pounds back, but that's gonna give her 3 pounds, Or I can shift it to the power marker, in which point I can... See, the problem is she has more than me in everything. So shifting like shipyards up isn't great. I mean, it's basically a wash, her losing her shares. I guess it's actually more powerful to do this, but then this counts as a workshop. I don't think there's a way I can really screw with the power that like really goes in my favor. What are these upcoming? Can't enlist officers. Only retire to the big boys. Can't take her own blackmail cards. Is $2 worth $2? I have a £2 discount. If I get $19 and I retire this dude, I could retire to this massive spot. That would be the end of me probably, but I mean that might be worth it. It might be worth a shot. I don't know. Let's do it. Let's do a workshop bonus. I'll get £2. She gets 3. That's fine. Oh wait, this is a share bonus. I'm an idiot. I don't want that. Well, that makes me sad. We're gonna have to do power. And I can only give her stuff. Sorry, I want to see what are my options for. It's 3 promises to take an enterprise from the crown. Which I guess about makes sense. So okay, we're gonna swappies those. Yeah, so I moved the power marker to luxury because this is already at the top. You can swap any 2 adjacent markers, and all of these 3 count as being adjacent. So I'll flip those 2. And now we're here. To upkeep and refresh. So you come back, and you're done, 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 and you're done. And there were no other riders, and it was very sad. And stop touching ships. Okay. Everything is bad. And then I didn't even really consider the upkeep right now. How many monies is the upkeep? So I owe 3, 4, 5. And then she owes 3, 4. Okay. Okay. We're going to move over here. We're going into the penultimate round, and we're going to roll for our peoples. Look at that. I retired him again. I really would like her to not retire anyone. Well, okay then. So he's gone. He gets a fatigue. Where's my fatigues? He's gone. And he's gone. Somehow this chairman is just spry. Okay, so we're losing. She's retiring. So many peoples. Madras, Governor General, and then Bombay. Cool. So, this might. Well, I don't know. I didn't know. All right. Well, excuse me. So she's a chairman. So she is going to first do standard retirements, which is going to be that she will only she'll look at half of her treasury and whatnot. So we know that half of her treasury is 13, which I mean basically rounded up. She's. Ugh. Well, do you round up 13 to 14 though? Or is it just if it's a half? Right? Like if this was 27 divided by 2, then we would look at that being 14. But this is 26 divided by 2, which is 13. That's not a half. We wouldn't round up. So she won't retire to the 14-pound 8 VP space in that case. She's going to pay $8 to go here. This will probably end up all not mattering anyway, but that's 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And then 18 divided by 2 is 9. So that's another to this spot. So that's another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I was saying it probably wasn't going to end up mattering. And then 10 divided by, yeah, so then she's going to retire to this spot, which is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she gets a free retirement, unfortunately, that she can afford that would go here. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Holy mackerel. That's not good. That's very not good. And then I got my one dude. So here's the issue. Here's what I have to consider. I have a I pushed the wrong buttons. I have a 2-pound discount, and I have 12 pounds, which means I can retire to this spot. Which means I will be poor again and not have enough money to do anything if I wanted to like get extra workshops or do anything. But I think I have to do it. I'm going to pay everything to go to this spot and get 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keeps me somewhat there. I'm just chasing her. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. All right, that's not too bad. She spent way more money than I did, though. So she's going to get first pick. Oh, no. And she's going to pick the middle card, which is totally the one I wanted. I needed that extra. Oh, I hate you. Plus, she doesn't... Like, she's not actually restricted by that card. She doesn't get the discount either, but that's still annoying. So do I either want to not enlist officers, which I haven't been doing, or do I want to no longer own any blackmail cards? I mean, obviously this I don't care about. And the discounts on these are the same, so yeah, that's the way. Man, oh man. Just in case we got one more London season. Who dis? Yeah, I'd take that. Oh, nice. He added the icons. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Family phase. We're mouse. And we know that seek share is there. So, I mean, it's not written here, but seek share will be at the front of the mouse column here. So she will spend 2 pounds to seek a share in that spot. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We have 4 more vacancies here. So we got to look at the writer enlistment. If there's 4 more vacant offices, the Crown will first enlist a writer as a free action. Great. She gets a free writer. Where's she going to put it? Well, she is going to want to look for vacant presidencies with no Crown writers. There is one. Great. Now we look at, are there any... then if there's a presidential vacancy with no Crown writer, they'll also get a free thing. This one's open, but she's got a crown, so we're good. So then we move on. She seeked a share, and then she's going to want to buy... No, I'm sorry. Then she's going to put down another writer, which is going to be her second action. And this writer, again, vacant offices with no crown writers, they're good. Crown presidencies with the least amount of crown writers. Well, this is the only crown presidency at the moment, so it's going to go there. I'm screwing things up. No, I'm not screwing things up. I'm losing my mind. We're good. And then at this point, she would look at buying a workshop as her extra action. I think I probably need to throw down writers again as well. And my opportunity marker is already here at 2, so it is what it is. I'm going to throw down in Bombay again. And Yeah, I'll throw down a Madras, I suppose. That's what we'll do. All right, let's go to firms. So she's mouse. So she is not going to invest unless I tell her to. I don't want her to. Please stay away. I really don't want you to. Here's the thing, though. I probably should invest. Or, this is where it's tricky. I have £2. I could just commit £2 to my thing, and then we just go with I get what I get. Or I can invest a workshop. I do have to consider, though, if I don't invest my workshops, then I have 5. Um, hmm. Hmm. I forgot that I was going to. I think so. Before we went to the family phase, I had the option to spend 3 promises to take an enterprise from the crown, and I still think that's something I want to do. And I'm going to take a workshop from her. And then what I have to consider is $8 is what I have to have at the end of this round just to pay upkeep. And if I keep all of these, that's like baked in. I have 6 there, and then I can probably get involved. I can probably get a buck or 2 elsewhere. I got to be able to keep these. So I'm wondering if I don't even invest this. Sorry, this actually slid in here. If I don't, because I really would just be investing it solely to roll, and like chances are, right, if I'm gonna like trade here, for example, well, no, I probably want to go for Bombay. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna only roll 2 dice, and I'm gonna just see what horrible things happen, and I'm gonna commit to the West, and we're gonna move on. Hiring. Governor General, chairman chooses. Consider any office except the chairman. For hiring, the Crown hires the first eligible office holder clockwise or counterclockwise based on the card here. Well, we're going counterclockwise. So the first eligible is going to be the president of Bengal. So congratulations. President of Bengal. Yeah. And then we look at the president of Bombay. Consider writers and governors. I unfortunately have to consent. It's fine. Probably. I don't know. And then president of Bengal. Consider writers. I have to consent. And then trade in China. Consider writers. Well, I have to consent, and she's going to take her writer. That sucks. I don't have anything. That really sucks. Oh, we got President Madras. Wait, what number was this? This was 8? That changes things, actually, because this was here. So technically we do Madras first, which I still get those. But then Am I actually going to be trading China? Because that's kind of lame. Consider writers, and then she's going to pick up my writer out of Madras. I don't want trade in China. I mean, I guess if I can retire this dude, then that's something, but it's not what I wanted. Chairman, company debt is at 1, so we're bullish. All right, that could be good. And Bull wants debt for every, same as Mouse, for every presidency with an open port. We got 2 now. 1, 2. So we're at 14. It's not too bad. I feel like Bull doesn't care about. I'm going to have to probably try to convince her to throw some ships my way. How does Bull wants to do $4 in each presidency with an open port, and then $4 to the director of trade, and then everything else goes into shipping. Yeah, that's probably fine. I think I'll let it sit. That's fine. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then $4 to the director of trade. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or, governor general. I assume that is considered the same to that presidency. And then the rest, which is just 2. I probably would have liked more. Though, I'm wondering, I don't know how shipping goes. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually spend the promise to allocate 2. So this was 4, and then 1, 2, and then she's just going to spend 2 to the director of trade. That's what I'm going to do. Because I can spend $1 at any point before each step to request $3 or less be allocated. So I'll do it before the director of trade got that. And then these 2 ships I can potentially, these should have been gone. These 2 ships I can maybe use my promises to throw into my China office so I can make some money. That's it. Governor General Bull is wants to roll 5 dice. He doesn't have enough money. So we move on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is $12 though, thanks to Governor General giving us money for our regions. And then shipping, Bull does not want to buy any company ships. We still don't have any ships we got to fit or anything either. Like, the game's been really good overall. So yeah, we're gonna lease 2 extra ships, which is great. And the Bull is gonna throw them in Sea Zone with the longest open trade route. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, technically, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So actually, it wants to throw both of these into Bengal. And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, here's 2 promises. Give them to me. I feel a little bit better. I think rolling 3 is pretty good. Because we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get potential $4 off that, and then that's $4 each for the company. So that could be very lucrative. Could be real good. So we're moving on to military affairs. Who's going to want to do some transfers, props? Player presidency's army to a crown presidency's army. I don't have a presidency, so there's no transfers, and then there's no officers. So actually, we're done. Ha! And then Bombay president is going to have the commander go first. And the commander Bull doesn't want a local alliance and wants to open closed orders. So basically wants to deploy in Bombay to open that one northernmost closed region. But company controlled wants to be able to roll 2 dice. And only has 1, so they're not going to. So they're gonna move on. I am also announcing that I'm trading. here. And then bull president actually only wants to trade 2, but is going to roll all 4 because she'll spend the $2 to be able to roll the 2 dice. 1, 2. Actually, she's going to want to go out here maybe. But she'll focus here. But then she's going to spend 4 money, which means she can roll 3 dice. So that's fine. And then I'm going to roll my 2 dice. Oh no, they failed. Oh no, Bombay. Oh no. Well, okay, Bombay is not trading. Bummer. Well, I'm trading, and I can do 5 trades. So we're going to do the same thing we did again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which again I believe is 7 and 7 is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So it was a good thing I didn't invest for more money when it wasn't necessary, because it just wasn't necessary. I'll close these even though I don't feel like it's necessary. I already know that this has happened, but that's what we're doing. And then we're going to move on to Madras. And Madras, again, commander doesn't want to purchase a local alliance, does want to deploy here for 6 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, oh man, they almost would. I could have them. But really, that's just more money and trophies to them. And I don't care. So no. And then they want to be able to roll 2 dice. They only have $1 left. So they're not trading. This is sad. I'm just passively letting this happen. And then once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever they want to do here, I think they can do. So president's home region with closed orders, then company-controlled regions associated with this presidency with closed regions. So they're going to want to deploy in Delhi. And it's a company-controlled region. They want to be able to roll 2 dice, actually, is all. And they're going to just use their 2 crown riders, or their 2 crown officers, to deploy here, I guess. So that's fine. They're successful. So these orders are open. Not soups helpful, but whatever. And then that's going to be $3 that they get. And then each of these has to roll to see if they got hurt. They're good. And then Bengal is going to trade. Well, it was a minimum of 2, right? Bull, yeah, plus up to 3 more. So they're going to spend all 4. And they don't have another ship. Otherwise, they actually could have had a pretty good round if I'd left those ships there. But I'm greedy and selfish. And that's a trade. So that's $11 for the company. 23. I get $1 for my rider. They get $2 for the successful trade. And then we're going to go to China, and I'm totally going to roll 3 dice to trade in China. Oh yeah, baby! So that's $4 per opium. 4 times 4. That's amazing. Plus, I get my $4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got 23 going into 16. So the company is in pretty good shape, actually. Who knew? And then we do bonuses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have enough to pay my upkeep, and that's about it. Ugh. And then we go to revenue. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 39, 29, 19, 1, 2, 3, $15. We meet expectations, so this marker is not going down. And then the bull is willing to just take everything from the company. And it's all the crown though, bro. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she'll pay out 3 dividends. I'd have to spend... Oof. Do I need to keep my promises? It might be worth keeping my promises to snipe another workshop if possible from the crown. I don't want her to take $15. Holy crap. But it's 2. It's 2. What can I give the crown? An unfitted ship, give the crown a fitted, give the crown uninvested, give the crown invested, give the crown a luxury, give the crown £3. I feel like I gotta keep. Ugh. I'm actually gonna get a promise for this sad boy. I'm gonna pay 2 promises so that she only pays out. She pays out 1 less dividend. She wants to pay out 3. She's gonna pay out 2. Damn. Yeah. Whether or not that's the right move, I don't know. And then I got to do things too. So, once again, this moves up 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't consider how much expensive this would be. $9 left. These are worth 2 each, though. That's great. I can only pay out 1. And it's 5, so it's just a free retirement to this spot. It gets me $3, though. This is okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm paying out 5, which leaves 4 in the London Treasury. I get 3. The crown gets 2. Fair enough. Events in India. This could end it. This could bring it home. Wow. Okay, then let's do a ship, a ship, and a ship. Oops. Fatigued. Eliza. Gonzes. And diligence is fine. And then we got 1. Windfall. In Maratha, we got no one. This India deck has been quite kind to us. Okay, I'm Prime Minister. Huzzah! So after the law is chosen, I'll set the climate. Let's see what we got. Envoy to China. I mean, I have to kind of consider. So this would move to ship, which would either be moving it up or taxing. I'm not going to tax it, but I could potentially move it up, but that would swap with... I don't want this one. 10-year limits. I don't want this because I actually want... If she's going to... The fact that she hasn't retired the chairman yet, it's kind of great because, well, at least off of me assuming the company will fail, because the more she has in here, the more that will hurt her. Though, again, if this deck is rigged against me like it has been the last 2 games, I can't play that game. I don't need the free actions, though. Power. Let's do 1 more. I'm going to chance it. Boop. There we go. Okay. Enact this policy. Oh, the turmoil event occurs in each home region and 1 unrest every company-controlled region. And turmoil is going to cascade from Madras into Mysore and Hyderabad. This is horrible. What tax? It's either shipyards or luxuries and then window taxes. Well, I want to do window taxes because I have less of those technically because, well, so she's got 2 plus these 2 luxuries, and then, yeah, I mean, this will hurt her more, but this will hurt me a lot too, man. Because this will hurt me $6, $8. And then I'm going to be too shy from the upkeep that I need, so I'm going to lose probably these 2 pieces. I'll lose like 4 VP. Oof. And then she's going to get burned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, $14. At which point, because she also has to pay upkeep, she'll have $8 left, and she has to pay 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She'll be one short. Oh, but she can just, we do have money in the balance, so she could do it. Or we just destroy India. Well, I'm gonna pick the tax that's gonna be a little less for me. Yeah, I don't love it. I made a boo boo. I should have just stuck with 10-year limits or something. All right, let's do climate shift. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 successes and 2 failures. So we are currently at company standing 2. Is this greater than or equal to? No. Is it greater than? No. So this is the climate's not moving to the right. We look at this, 2. Is it great? Is it less than or equal to? Yes. So the climate would move to the left. It can't. It's bull. And then is it less than? No, it wouldn't move. But we're staying bull. Hopefully, Ricky, I haven't disappointed you, and I am doing this right. Okay. Well, so bull for yeah. If Crown has most of given policy, and the given policy is luxuries, yeah, and she's against it. What is price? So this is starting at +1, and then she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus we know she's got 15 plus, so that's another 4. So we're at -11. I mean, I don't really want to lose the PM, but I'm still convinced I can't win this power award. However, she will move this to here, which is going to basically undo what I'd done. Which isn't the worst, but if this passes, we enact. Oh, I did the math all wrong. Enact this policy icon twice. Like, yeah, that just is devastating. That just destroys everyone. Plus, actually, the big issue with that is if this passes, right, the policy gets enacted twice, which is that she's going to pay all of these things twice. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. She's going to have to pay 28, which she can't do. She's going to have to take out 2 emergency debt. Or she's going to take $5 from here, and then she's going to have to pay. You have to do 1 emergency debt, which will actually drop standing. And then I just get completely destroyed. So I have to let this pass. I have to. It is what it is. It's a bummer. So it's fine. This fails. The turmoil event occurs in each home region. So this is closed. This is closed. This is closed. There's actually kind of an order of operations here that sucks. This is closed. Oh, this isn't a home region. So actually this cascade doesn't happen, which would have been an issue. So that wasn't as horrible. And then where did it go? And then place 1 unrest to every company controlled region. See, this is setting us up for glorious failure. And then we go to upkeep and refresh. So she owes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 monies. And we know I owe 6, 7, 8 monies. Yeah, that's yeah. Going into the final round, y'all. Going into the final round. This has been good actually. I've enjoyed this quite a bit. This writer came back. This writer did not come back. I get a sympathy promise for that, which I very specifically was counting on for reasons anyway. Okay, cool beans. I am still a few points behind, plus she's winning that 8. This is 8 victory points she's going to get from the Power Award. I have to basically make up that gap somehow. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Like, at this point now, I think I have to snipe the Power Award. Unless I can have the company fail and then she just gets annihilated here. Or like it kind of evens out the 8 VP in the negative 10 that she'd have here. Assuming she keeps her chairman, I guess. I don't know. This is a rough one. Okay, let's do some rolling. Yeah, we lost chairman. This is horrible. Okay, trade in China. I lost my boy. Pretty cool. We lost the chairman. We get a fatigue. This is a 2, so you're good. We lose Madras. You're good. And then Governor General gets fatigue. So that wasn't actually horrible. So Madras, chairman, and China. Okay. And then we look at her stuff. Excuse me. It's 12 divided by 2 is 6. So she's going to retire to a 4 VP spot. Or sorry, a 2 VP spot. For 4 monies. And then we look at this. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So she will retire here for another 2 VP. And then she's allowed one more retirement. I hate this game. This is her free retirement for being a member of my firm. She's going to do it all because she's allowed to go up to that amount. Yikes. Yikes. So 5 to 13 right now. Okay. So I'm having a couple thoughts here. Man. So, well, so here's what I'm thinking. Again, somewhat trying to think positive here for myself. Company fails. If the company were to fail, she's going to lose 8 points for her shares. And we can call it a wash with assuming she wins the Power Award. I could snipe her last uninvested workshop, which I was thinking of doing anyway, which is going to give me 4 victory points if the company fails, right? Which puts me 9 to 13 if we assume everything is fairly even at that point. 9 to 13. And then if I were to do more workshops, like if I were to spend my money on one last workshop, that would put me 10 to 13. And then I'm basically relying on company failure to knock her down instead of me. Okay, that's not a good idea. Okay. Not a good idea. So she's actually going to take this, huh? More power. So I'm obviously going to take that regardless of... So I'm going to have to take advantage of this. So I have a $3 discount. That I can use once a game. So if I do it to 5, I can spend $5 to retire here, basically, for 4 VP. Or I can spend $1 to retire here for 2 VP. Well, and then I guess my free retirement is 4. So it evens out either way. I either retire 1 pensioner or I retire 2. And these boxes are exactly the same. 2 here is the exact same as 1 here in every way. So I guess we're just going to do 1. Yeah, I think that's like another workshop felt like a good plan, maybe, but I gotta try to get more points. So anyway, she's taking this, which is just more power and votes for her. Bully for you. I think I gotta take the 2 VP. I gotta marry this person, and then my opportunity marker is out of the game, which I don't really think matters at this point. So it's fine. Going to the family phase. We got Bull. Bloop. And the Bull wants to seek a share, no money. Wants to buy a shipyard, no money. Going with riders. All right. We do have to consider she gets a free action to place a rider here. She don't got a rider in that position. There's only 3 here, though, so she's not going to do anything that. So, yeah, she's going to place 2 riders. 2 more riders, basically. So she wants to do vacant offices, crown presidencies with the least amount of crown riders. Yeah, so each of these are just going to go here. So it's just an even split, which is typically how that works out. If she's going to place multiple writers, it'll typically even out, is what I found. My final family action. I don't have an option. I have to do writers because I'm not allowed to enlist officers, and I can't afford to do anything else. Actually, sorry, after the London season, oh my god, the prestige card thing at the very bottom left, I'm spending these last things to take this last workshop. And I'm hoping that that's going to somehow pay off. Somehow! So, where was I? Family action. I'm doing a writer. I kind of have to consider. So she's going to pick herself for chairman. President of Madras. She's just going to pick herself. China, she's going to pick herself. So I guess this writer doesn't really have anything going on. Bank call might be better. I don't know. Firms. Bull is not going to invest in my firm unless I want him to. I don't. Please don't. And I got $4 left. We're going to spend all $4 for dice, even though I probably don't need to spend all that money. I probably don't need to spend all that money, huh? The way things have been going. What's an extra $2? At this point, honestly, I would have tried to get more ships, but things are now closed down too. This is actually a massive headache. That actually is a major issue for me because if I can't pay my expenses, then I'm screwed. Ay. Does that mean I'm going to have to invest so I have money? I could just hobnob. And not trade and not worry about it. Well, I have to still pay expenses, though, if I hobnob. Crap. I guess worst case, I can just emergent. Like, at least I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to because I count as any player. I can just do an emergency investment in my own firm, um, in order to not dissolve. So what we'll do is we will hope that I really just need like one more order to open, and I can at least bare minimum pay my expenses to keep these points, which is something. I just hate that we're like, this is just even. Like, this is a wash either way. Whether my firm survives or not, we're both going to either gain or lose the same amount, which feels bad because like me having this firm has not. It's probably been more beneficial to the crown because they've retired. They've gotten more points off of like special retirement and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is actually we're just going to do the $2 game again, and we're gonna call the West. Hiring chairman. Surprise, surprise. Chairman. Director of Trade chooses Madras. Oh no, I lied. Totally, I put my writer there. Shh, don't tell. So that I get that contempt, consent for nepotism bump. And then consider writers. It's going to be between Bengal and Bombay. It's going to grab from Bombay, which is me consenting again. Look, you got to optimize the best you can when you're solo, right? You gotta catch little things because the game's already stacked against you. You gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself. All right, chairman. What are we dealing with right now? Presidencies with control of a region. Well, all of them. So we're staying bullish. Great. Well, we know that the bull wants to take debt per open port, so that's 2 debt. So we're going to be at 15. Excuse me. And then the $4 to each presidency with an open port. Yeah, so that's going to be Bombay and Bengal. And then $4 to the director of trade. And I literally am out of the company. Literally out of the company. So what I have to consider is I'm going to have to use promises to make someone, probably Madras. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to spend a promise here to put $3 into Madras. Then Bull's going to put $4 in each presidency. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then yeah. And then he wants to put $4 into Director of Trade. I guess, bro, go for it. Whatever, man. You're just gonna see. This is why I'm convinced this is gonna crash and burn now because the governor's gonna act, put a bunch of unrest, and then we're gonna have a rebellion that just blows everything up. But we'll see. So, Governor General is going. Oh goodness, where am I? I'm sorry. Is going to govern as long as they can roll at least 5 dice. So actually, that worked out. I guess you're just going to do 1. Boop. Got 1. That's good. Also forgot 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's $12 because of the 3 for each company-controlled region. Then they're going to get $4 bonus. And then they are going to do a govern action. And the govern action is going to be taxing. Adding funds to the Crown President's treasury, then the company balance. Fair enough. So they're going to put $2 in each EIC region, or for each EIC region. And I guess it's going to just be even, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then there's technically $2 more that I'm going to go off of tiebreaker here and is going to go into Madras. Let me know if that is not right. And then we're going to move on to shipping, which isn't going to do anything. And then we're going to move on to military affairs, which I don't think is going to do anything. Player presidency, I don't have any. So yeah, our military army is done. Bombay isn't going to do anything. I guess unless I really wanted them to. And that's kind of the question is like, oh no, I goofed. I goofed again. I'm taking this back. I didn't mean to put the money in Madras, that $3. I meant to put it here. That's 100% what I meant to do. I'm so bad at this game. Forgive me. So when I was helping the chairman allocate funds, I wanted to put £3 into the presidency of Bombay. So the commander here will not purchase a local alliance. I am going to, well, yeah. I'm going to spend 2 promises to purchase these guys. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure like I'm spending promises to have the commander buy them. I was just double checking that I didn't need to like also bribe the president to be okay with it, but that's not how it works. So we're good. So now they will deploy 3, 4. Non-company, they want to do 6. I'm so screwed. Hold on. Can I make this work? Oh, man. I might have goofed this so hard. But I don't think there's a way around it, is the problem. I need them. The bull inherently wants to deploy here to open these closed orders. 3, 4. And he wants to be able to roll 6 dice and not. No, this is a. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. I'm so sorry. This is a company-controlled region. He wants to roll 2 dice. Everyone, calm down. He's gonna roll 3 dice. All right. We open these orders. I had a mild panic attack. Very unnecessary. Okay. Also, hey, I'm announcing that I'm trading in this area. Do I have any successes? No. So my priority is a 4. He inherently is going to go before me, assuming that he is able to trade, basically, is how this is going to play out. And the bull wants to be able to trade 2, and then is going to spend an extra 3. So $4 total. Fail? It failed! Hey! I'm actually pretty happy with that. So I get to trade in all of the goodness. So basically we're going to do 6, 10, 13. Oops. 16. Right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. Great. It's something. This might have all not mattered because of how this doesn't make a difference in the end or whatever. I don't know, but we're going to move on. Madras is not going to purchase a local alliance, wants to deploy in Madras. Non-company wants to be able to do 6. If I were like 4 things, I would 100% make this happen. But I don't care. An extra dollar for me would be good in the trade and stuff, but like I don't care. I'm going to let it slide. President's not going to trade. We're moving on. Bengal again wants to do things here, is totally going to, as long as they can roll 2 dice. 1, 2. They got it. Oh, you know what? Bombay was successful, so she got $1 for the commander here. And then both of these officers are alive, so that's another 3. 1, 2, 3 for her for the successful deploy. And then we know she's going to want to roll 2 plus another 5, so she's going to roll 5 dice. Success. It's $11. And then she gets 1, 2, 3, and I get 1. And then I'm pretty sure Bull wants at least 2 in China. No, Bull will do 1. All right, Bull, let's go. Trade in China. Doesn't happen. That's all right. Bonuses, $1, $2, $3. And then I get 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all right. And then revenue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Exactly $23. We paid our expenses. We do not meet company standing. We go down 1. Still a chance that the company fails if there's region loss. And the elephant is facing Delhi. Though the Bengal army is in pretty good shape, actually. So this might be a successful company despite my best efforts, which weren't really that great. But oh wait, I gotta do my stuff. I'm sorry. So I gotta pay $14 for expenses. Yay! And then I can only pay out dividends from India Treasury, so I can't pay out dividends. So this just goes into my London Treasury. So sad. Very sad. Technically, though, it should be noted, if the company is successful, actually, if the company is not successful, I get a final retirement anyway. Cole did just recently state, and this is always subject to change, but if the dividends aren't paid out, right, technically, like, I paid out 0, but there's still special retirement potential for, well, actually, what was the ruling on that? Yeah, like basically I can spend up to $0, but I could get a free retirement off of these, I believe is how it was kind of worded. Yeah, I just checked through the Discord. Yeah. So like technically if I don't spend, like, let's say this -2 and this -2 that I have here, like this is a free $4 retirement spot through my special retirement, because I can personally only spend a max of 0, but like I get a discount. So, that's something. Something. Events in India. All right, 2 in the east. Again, just 1 ship. See if the Constant Friend can survive. Yeah, Constant Friend is good. Very well. Very well. And then we have 2. Foreign invasion. Bom, bom, bom. So we're going to roll the storm die and resolve an invasion in each region linked to a storm, right? The east. So foreign invasion is going to be here. Then for each, we're going to roll a d6 to determine the strength of this attack, right? Boom, boom, boom. This has to be big and scary because it's a foreign invasion. Boom, boom, boom. And it's going to be a 5. That's not good because it's not good. If this region falls, close every order there and set its strength to half of the die roll rounded down. So this is going to be a 2 strength tower. This is a 5 in Bengal. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these boys are exhausted. Company could not stop this foreign invasion. So this gets lost. This gets lost. Strength tower of 2 is dropped. These are closed. All 3 of these get rolled for, even though it, I mean, I guess it could actually technically matter for company failure cards. Wow, actually, one of these got lost. The other 2 are fine. She loses her commander position, and then we lost a region. The company fails immediately. We're not even going to look at the final India thing. We're not going to go to Parliament. And we're not going to have to deal with upkeep, which is good because I wouldn't have been able to afford it. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so we are going to go over here, which is a little crazy. Okay, well, I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Let's see if I somehow eked out a win. Whew. Okay, so... yeah, okay. My mind just went totally blank. So, we're counting power. We need to count power. Okay, so power. I have 4 power. I lost just off of trophies and stuff alone. She had, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 power to my 4. So that is 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have rolled over twice now. Ugh. And then we need to look at score shares. 2, 4, 6, 8. We're going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And then we've got workshops. This workshop was invested and thus is not worth a victory point. All 4 of these were not invested and thus are worth a victory point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy smokes, I'm ahead. Now, because we've got people in a firm that still exists at the end of the game, we do get to do a final retirement that's based off of the dividend payout. She can't, because the dividend payout was 0. That's the max amount of money she can spend. I, like I said, can spend, technically, I get a $5 discount. I'm going to spend nothing to retire 1 dude to the 4 spot, which is going to give me 2 more victory points. I get 2 4 victory points for these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she gets 4 victory points for these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And like we're like this is 47 right now, right? Like this is a stupid high scoring game right now. And then we are going to look at company failure. I'm so scared. This could be everything. Court of Directors. This is literally the same one. No. British Despots of India. Like literally, how is it that 3 in a row, really, treat the value of company shares as if the company was successful? I'm not counting it. I've already had that twice. That's nonsense. I hate it. We're doing this one. British Despots of India. Lower each player's score by 2 VP for each of their governors, or by 4 VP for the Governor General. 1, 2, 3, 4. Governor General goes down. Anyone who had governor that was removed in region loss on the final turn should lower their score by 2 VP for each. We didn't have a governor that lost, so that's fine. So, based on totally real rules, I won this one. Okay? I won this one. It should be noted. Now let's play real for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. She would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She would have been here. Which is what? 45 to my 41. Like, what are the chances? Like, this is really... Like, is this just trying to learn me a lesson that I really can't be playing the game in this way? Holy man. All right, well, official final score is 45 to 41. Crown wins. Because this card shouldn't have come up and I hate the world, I'm deciding that this is the alternate reality that I could have won, and it was 41 to 33 or whatever. Oh man, this was crazy. I wasn't expecting the game to go this long. Obviously, I was expecting we were I feel like we were in a precarious spot at the very, in the first turn, and then the second round I was like, yeah, there's no way we're going to make it past this. And then there was that weird shift of climate into mouse that suddenly things were a little bit more flexible, and I don't know, there was just a weird turn there, and all of a sudden we were in pretty good shape. We had a good amount of money thanks to my trade roll in China. That helped a lot. The built-in buff with the Governor General helps a lot. And yeah, we were just able to keep company standing just there to make it work. That was very interesting. I am frustrated with this because at the end of the day, this was kind of a wash. And I feel like if I'm going to start a firm, I want to be starting a firm because I myself am going to benefit the most from it, while other people get some benefit from it. And some benefit being yeah, you got a share, maybe you get some, a victory point off of it. Yeah, you might get some extra cash. Yes, there's a potential for a special retirement. But when you're playing against one other opponent and they can just buy in and be this much involved, then it's so hard because you're just tied with that person on everything. And with the crown, who already makes a ton of money, to pay out dividends and give her more money feels bad. And then you obviously want to pay out a lot for yourself, plus you want to have a good special retirement for yourself. And the fact that she's just going to go all in on that special retirement if she can is rough. That first payout, that's the only reason this piece is here, is that she spent all her money on the special retirement that she could drop here, because I had paid out $15 or $16 or whatever, and she didn't retire any of her. She didn't have any pensioners. So this was I basically gave her 8 points because I started a firm. It's kind of what it feels like. And then I don't know how much I really hindered the company, because the company ended up not trading that much anyway, which is actually kind of crazy that the company survived as well as it did with only a few trades really happening throughout the game. And there was never a round where all three of these presidencies traded. I don't think Madras never traded. And then Bengal got 1 or 2 trades in. And then Bombay was all right, but I think also failed once or twice. So it was really the Governor General buff and then a solid China roll really helped a lot. But But yeah, that was a crazy game. That was actually a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting it to play out the way it did. That was an interesting struggle. It was a really interesting kind of cat and mouse game where I was chasing the VP with the Crown's VP like that. This is ridiculous. All these guys that retired here. That's pretty crazy. Um, yeah, this was good. I enjoyed this. Obviously, the 1813 scenario is not ideal with lower player counts. It's recommended that you play with like a full 5 or 6, and that's because you can get multiple firms going, and then there's just a lot of push and pull between people that are like firmly in the company, people that are doing their own firm game, people that are waffling a little bit back and forth, have their hands in multiple cookie jars. But the fact that you can play this scenario by yourself and have a really interesting game speaks to speaks so much to, I mean, at this point, with so much of the game design being near completion, I think we're basically at like 99.8% completion, really, as far as the design goes. The design is really, really solid, and then the Crown AI is just like really, really good. It's really clever at times. It puts you into really interesting situations that you have to work around. But then also, sometimes the way I play, which obviously I lose all the time as far as, recorded records go, I maybe sit back and let the Crown just kind of do her own thing a little too often. But the fact that I can do that and the game like doesn't fall apart and like you can continue to go on and say, yeah, you know what, screw it, I'll let the Crown do that weird thing. Oh, cool, it worked out. All right, cool. Or, oh, yep, there we go, that failed, let's move on. But like it doesn't all just fall to pieces because of it is really impressive. So yeah, that's the 1813 scenario of John Company solo, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing it, and I might continue to do more of these if I've got the time. I don't know if I want to do a solo Crown game or not. Still, I played my first campaign game last week with a full house, and it was pretty great. But I'm not sure yet if I want to do a campaign with Crown, or if I'll just do like another 1758 to try to redeem myself, and then yeah, who knows? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.